Chris Van Buren with Dreamwave Digital Marketing, and today I wanted to walk you through a step-by-step tutorial on how you can begin generating your own leads for your roofing company using just the Facebook page and a Facebook lead ad form. I'm going to walk you through the step-by-step process on how you can do that, and I'm also going to show you how you can supercharge those results by utilizing Hailtrace as a supplement to be able to find out where the biggest amount of hail is in the area that you're servicing, and then be able to implement that into the Facebook lead ad and targeting, so that way you can make sure you get the biggest bang for your buck and the highest impact possible. So let's go ahead and jump right in, and we'll dive in and show you exactly how we run a lead ad from beginning to end, how you get all your results, where you find everything, how you download everything, and then at the end of this video, I'm also going to give you all of the ad copy and everything that you can type right in, copy and paste, so it'll definitely make it a really interesting experience for you, and you can begin generating your own leads directly from your own Facebook page very quickly and very effectively, almost instantaneously. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so here's what you're going to do when you first start your ad. Obviously, you have to have an ad account. You have to have everything set up for that. Obviously, we're going to do that would be a separate video. Okay, so here we are in the ad setup. We are going to start a new ad. Now, you have two options that you can actually utilize. One option is to be able to do the video views, and I would typically do the video views if I was going to have my guys go out and start canvassing and door knocking. This is going to be really effective if you do video views. Now, you can also do lead generation, and that will also be effective. But if you do video views and you wait a few days for that video to kind of go out there, then what you're going to notice, if you wait a few days for that video to kind of run its course and kind of go throughout the community, what you're going to notice is that people will be more apt to purchase from you and actually open the door and say, hey, yeah, I saw you advertising on Facebook. Now, this works also with the lead generation, but if you're really trying to build like your presence out there before you start canvassing, you're going to want to use video views. But for the reasons of this video, we're actually going to use the lead generation objective. And for this, we can name it whatever we want. So let's just say we had a recent hailstorm. We're going to name this, or hail or wind, or any type of storm. We're going to just name this storm leads, and then hit continue. And we're going to name this again. The ad set is just storm leads. And then for the purpose of this video, we're going to target the city of Festus, Missouri, to kind of show you how everything works. So I'm just going to put Festus, Missouri as the video, as the ad set name here. So obviously the page that you're going to use is your Facebook business page, and so you're going to want to select that here. Obviously that is going to be where you select your Facebook. So right here is where you're going to want to select your Facebook business page that you're actually going to be advertising on, and set everything up through there. Now here we go down to the actual targeting. Because we're targeting a specific area, if we're in a very specific area that we want to target for storm damage or hail damage, we can actually target that area. So let's say we want to type in Festus, Missouri. We can actually target the entire city, and a 25-mile radius. We can change that radius. Let's say we only want to do a 10 or a 15-mile radius. We can do that as well. But here's what you're going to really want to do in order to supercharge this. So if you have access to Hailtrace, if you don't know what Hailtrace is, Hailtrace actually allows you to see hail in specific areas. You do have to download the maps. You have to pay for them. So for instance, like Memphis, Tennessee, in order for me to get this map, it's $200. But I'm going to use one of the free maps as mainly just a demo, so that way you can get the idea. For this instance, we see that the yellow represents that there's quarter or half dollar hail. in the area. As we go up, any of the red areas or golf ball tennis size, that's obviously where you're going to see the most damage. So in this instance, we're going to target Festus, and as we can see, there is, here's the swath, and this swath kind of went right through up Highway 55 in Festus. And so let's say, for instance, we downloaded one of the bigger maps, or Festus had some better areas in here with red. What we would want to do is say, let's say that this area here, right where this here, this landmark here, let's say that this was all red. We could know that maybe these houses probably got hit pretty hard, or this area got hit pretty hard. So we want to target this area specifically. So what we can do is we find a landmark on this map, and we can actually get the address of it. And this is where we're going to really supercharge our targeting to make sure that we get the most effectiveness out of it. So we already know that like this is a pretty good swath. So what we can do is, let's say we want to target this United Pentecostal Church in Festus. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go to Google Maps, and we're going to type in the United Methodist Church of Festus, Missouri. And actually it was, so what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to find a landmark in the area of this, the center of this, so that we can make sure that we do our targeting correctly. And so for this instance, we're just going to use the United Pentecostal Church in Festus as kind of our center landmark. So if we type in the United Pentecostal Church in Festus, we can see here's our landmark. Now here's where it's really cool, because obviously this is our landmark. It matches up where our Hailtrace is here for the center, pretty close to the center of our swath. And what we do is we actually get the address of this. So we're going to copy the address from Google Maps, and we're going to take it and put it into our targeting. So we're going to remove this targeting, and we're going to get down to the more specific targeting. So if we paste that address in here and hit enter, we can see now that the United Pentecostal Church, which is actually right here, is the center of our targeting. And we can actually reduce that to a 2-mile radius, because the swath was actually about 2 miles wide, and we can do a 2-mile radius. Now, as we know, we're going to target now this area. This is going to be a very particular area that we can target. There's going to be a lot of good homes in here that we're actually going to get a lot of value out of, because they've been hit by hail or wind. And we know that if we zoom out, we can see that this swath actually goes north of that Pentecostal area, which was right here, the Pentecostal Church landmark. It goes north of that, and also south where there is the airport right here. So what we can do is we can actually zoom out just a little bit, and we know here's the airport. So what we can also do is we can take a pin and we can drop it just a little bit south, and we can change that targeting to, again, 2 miles, because the swath was about 2 miles wide. Now, most swaths typically you're going to find damage about a mile out, but we want to target the most effective damage. And we know that there was also some a little bit north, so we're going to take another pin and we're going to drop it just a little bit north. So if we drop it north and change that to 2 miles, now what we have is a very, very highly targeted area where we can basically know that there was hail damage. We know people are going to need roofing services in this area, and we can basically ensure that we're going to get the highest amount of leads with the highest intent possible, because these people are going to really need roofing inspections. Now, obviously, if you are using Hailtrace and you have a map that shows any red areas, you're really going to want to target those, because those are going to obviously be the most damage potential and the highest amount of damage in that area. So anyway, back to our ad. As we go, we've got the targeting set up. Age, we can keep it at 18 to 65, but typically most homeowners are going to be 21 to 65, so we move it to there. You can try different age ranges, but typically 21 to 65 is going to be the best. And everything else pretty much stays the same. We do, however, want to edit the placements, so we're going to change the placements to Facebook and Instagram only, but we want to remove all of this stuff. We don't want in-stream. We don't want any of this, nothing in article. We want only Facebook newsfeed and only Instagram feed. Okay, so we're going to remove in article, Facebook instant articles. So you only want Facebook newsfeed and Instagram feed. That's going to give you the biggest bang for your buck. Now what we're also going to do is we're going to set our budget. Now obviously your budget can be up to whatever you want. Typically you want to start with at least probably $10 a day and go up from there. So at $10 a day, that's a pretty good starting point. You can go up from there. You can start with $20 a day and see what kind of leads you get. But that's going to be completely dependent on your budget and how much you feel comfortable spending. So I'll just do $10 a day. That makes things easy. So now we've got everything set up. We've got our targeting set up. We've got our Facebook page set up. Now it's time to create the creative. So we hit continue here. What we're going to do is we're going to change this obviously to storm damage leads for the lead generation name. And we have obviously we have the Facebook page selected, but we also want to make sure we connect our Instagram account. And so if we haven't done so, we're going to hit this button and we're going to select our Instagram account here that we've linked to our Facebook business page. You should have already done this. If not, there are plenty of articles that can show you exactly how to do this. As far as ad creative, now here's what is one of the most important things to do. Ad creative, you can use a still image. If you have a picture of hail or anything like that, you can use that. But here's what I would typically recommend that you do. You're going to want to make a video explaining exactly what your company does, who you are, what you're doing in that area, and why you're out there, and why it's so important for homeowners to have a professional come out to their home and actually do an inspection. So again, the key elements are who you are, what company you are, how long you've been doing business, why you're out there doing inspections, and why is it important for the homeowner to make sure that they get an inspection from a very good professional. Okay, those are the key elements. Then what you're going to do is you're going to upload that video and select it here. Obviously you're going to choose your creative by hitting add media, add video. You can upload your video by selecting the file, and then once you have it uploaded, I'm just going to, for the purposes of just testing here, we're just going to hit continue and put a video in here so you can actually see it. So once we've done that, we've got the video in there, then we're going to set up our text. And this is where we're going to get into all the ad copy and creative. So as far as creative goes, I'm going to give you the typical or just basic information that you can put in there. It's going to be copy and paste for the ad copy. And so here is the one that we created for Festus. So attention Festus residents affected by the recent hailstorm. We're going to hit enter here. And enter here. Anytime you see the periods, you're always going to want to make sure that any punctuation, you want to make sure that you enter so it looks like this at the end. So we'll read through it real quick. Attention Festus residents affected by the recent hailstorm. We're helping hundreds of homeowners in your area with free roof inspections and also helping them with the insurance claim process. Do you know that insurance claims, your insurance company can actually pay for an entire roof replacement? The only catch is that they put a deadline on how long you have to submit your claim. With the recent hailstorms that just hit the Festus area, again, you're going to change this to whatever city that you are trying to target, up here and here. Area, now is the time to file a claim. Don't get left out. Click the sign up now to schedule your free roof inspection today. Okay, pretty straightforward. Now, as far as a headline, you're going to want to put in a limited time offer for homeowners. That puts in scarcity so that people actually have a higher tendency to purchase. Everything else is pretty straightforward. Then you just hit the call to action is just going to be sign up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move into creating the lead form itself. And so in order to do that, you are going to hit new form, and we're going to create a new form here. Now what I would suggest that you actually use is the more volume. Your intro. Okay, for intro, what we're going to do is the headline is Get a Free Roof Inspection Today by a Licensed Professional. and just paragraph is please provide your information below so we know who to speak with when we schedule the appointment. Okay? Pretty straightforward, easy. And then obviously sign up providing your information below. You can change that. And as far as the image, what you're going to want to do is you want to upload an image of your company logo. It doesn't matter what you use. I'm just going to use something as a placeholder. So down to the questions. And we're going to add a couple fields in here. So we want email, full name. We want to add a question in here. So we're going to want the phone number. And we're going to also want the street address. Okay, so these are very, very important. What we want to do is make sure that we get the email, their full name, their phone number, and their street address when we ask them questions. Now your lead cost is probably going to be just a little bit higher when you add the street address in there, but it's really, really, really important to make sure that you put that information in there because you want the people who have high intent. Plus, if you get people that are actually starting to sign up and you see a lot of addresses in a very similar area, then that way you can utilize that for canvassing and getting boots on the ground. Okay, so the next thing you're going to add in there is a privacy policy. Now, you have to have a privacy policy for every time you do a lead ad, and you're going to want to put that link right here. So, for instance, I'm going to go to my website and grab my privacy policy at the very, very bottom here. So here's my privacy policy, and I'm going to grab this link and I'm going to copy that link and I'm going to paste that link into this link URL here. You must have a privacy policy anytime you do any sort of lead ad, and it's very, very important that you have that in there. Okay, now let's move to the thank you screen. So if we look here, the thank you screen, the headline we're going to use is thanks. You can use whatever you want. The description is someone will reach out to schedule your free inspection ASAP. Now you have a few options depending on how sophisticated your system setup is. If it's pretty basic, you can just put in the view website, and you can do view check out our website here. And then obviously you would put a link to your website there as well, right here in the website link. If you have a calendar scheduling link where it's like Calendly or Schedule Once or a scheduling appointment where somebody can actually go online and schedule an appointment with you, then you're going to want to do, click here to schedule your appointment now. And then you're going to put right here in the website link the link to your scheduling app, online scheduling. So depending on where you have or how sophisticated you are, you can set it up to that. And then obviously you would add in here, or click the button below to schedule your appointment now. Okay, you can put that there. Then obviously you click to schedule appointment now. Great. Okay, so now the other option you have a couple options. Typically, the best one is going to be to have them actually go to a scheduling link where they can schedule everything. Visit your website is pretty good as well. A third option you also have is for call business. You can also do that, and you can put in, click here to schedule your appointment now. And then you can put in a phone number, whatever that phone number is, so 9999999. And then what will happen is once they click this, it will take them directly to the phone number, and they can call you to actually book their appointment. Okay, so those are three options that you have to be able to set everything up correctly. Typically, we'll use the view website and click to schedule your call, and then a Calendly link for the scheduling. Okay. So that is the setup. Now we hit finish. Everything is good here, And now our form is created. Okay, so obviously if you have a pixel ID, then you're going to use your pixel. Otherwise, we hit confirm, and once we hit that, it's going to load everything up and start running your ads in that specific area. And that's it. Pretty straightforward. That's exactly how you set it up. Really, really awesome. Now, the way that you actually can get those leads is if you go to your Facebook business page, and you go to your pages, and then you go to your here, and then we go to the publishing tools. So if we go to publishing tools, what we then can do is download the leads into a forms from our forms library. This was right here. Let's just say this was an example of some leads that we had received. You just hit the button download, and it's going to ask you to download the leads. There are other ways that you can actually get the leads much faster by using Zapier integrations and notifications to phone, text message, or email, but this is the basic way to set everything up without confusing you too much. Obviously, once the leads come in, you'll need to download them periodically. Typically, I would download them 3-4 times a day to make sure that you got them. Check them here as the leads start to come in. The lead count is going to start going up, so you can keep downloading them throughout the day and calling your leads and contacting them to be able to set up appointments. So that's exactly how you run a Facebook lead campaign using Hailtrace, again with the hail swaths. So again, make sure that if you have Hailtrace, this is really going to supercharge your Facebook lead forms and actually getting everything set up, and this is exactly how you run it. So I just want to say thank you for everybody that actually checked this video out. I hope you found it valuable, and if you have any questions or comments, you can always contact me through Facebook, through Instant Messenger, through DMs, on Instagram. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram for more video content and information about roofing contracting and how we generate more leads for your business. Thank you so much, and hope you have a good day.